teachers are alive. They're not books. They are the very living essences of nature itself.
What a strange person.
Unbelievably powerful supercomputer that's running our reality, and we don't have a clue as to how to operate it.
So when maybe you or somebody else creates an AGI system and you get to ask her one question, what would that question be?
What's outside the simulation?
Say in your mind, say to yourself, I am more than my physical body, because I am more than physical matter. I can perceive that which is greater than the physical world.
Welcome to Lighting the Void.
Broadcasting live from Daytona Beach, Florida. This is Lighting the Void, and I'm your host, Joe Roop, and we're live on KTLK, Digital Broadcasting, Fringe.fm. It is Wednesday night, February the 16th on into the 17th, and our website is lightingthevoid.com. It's our first live show since we come back from the event at Contact at the Cabin, and man, we got a story to tell you here. Owen Hunt's here with me tonight to help me talk about this event. I don't even know if we're going to be able to do it all in one setting. We're going to damn sure try, though. If it's your first time listening to the broadcast, we talk about all things eclectic, conscious exploration, and pretty much everything else. And after the show will be the Secret Teachings with Ryan Gable. So, Owen Hunt, what's up, brother? It's good to have you here. Thanks for helping me out.
I'm so excited. I'm just here to corroborate the story, basically, I guess, right?
Yeah, so the call-in number, by the way, is 1-800-588-0335, and people are already starting to call. If you can't get through, just keep trying. But I just want to say real quick, as people don't call in, we'll tell our stories too, but Brandon Powell blew the doors. Like, this guy, changed my life. I'm not playing. Just one breathing exercise changed my life. I didn't even know you could have an experience like that just through breath work. So, and I know I put your video up on Facebook right after you got done with it, right? So it was pretty rad, wasn't it?
Dude, I was blown away, man. My biggest takeaway from the weekend, other than just meeting so many wonderful people, is that we are ancient technology, and I think we're just now really starting to understand that in context and be able to really kind of play with that and learn about it, what the edges are kind of, or at least that's my experience. And so it was really powerful to experience that. It's like your mind blows when you discover something you didn't think was possible before. There's just no words for it. Everybody was awesome. It was such a great time, dude.
It was. And speaking of which, we're doing it again next year. You can go to contactatthecabin.com. You can also go to the events page on lightingthevoid.com. They invited us back next year. We're going to go to California, the Redding and Mount Shasta. So I'll be grabbing those tickets as soon as possible because this one sold out. And it's going to be bigger and better. So can you imagine that? I can't wait to go back, brother. I miss everybody already.
I can't wait, man. It was truly surreal, man. I couldn't even. it's hard to even put it into words, you know?
Right. Well, we're going to try. And I guess we can tell our story between callers right now. So we do actually have a caller, I believe, on the phone line. Who are we speaking with on the phone line, by the way?
My name is the Cosmic Threader.
Cosmic Threader. What's up, brother?
Cosmic Threader. I'm in Canada right now.
So you were at the event, right?
At Mount Shasta?
No. The one we just went to. No?
No, I was not at the event. No.
Okay.
No, I saw the pictures of the icy cold water.
Right.
And I've been in icy cold water myself, but not the same water that you guys were in there. Not the same stuff.
Were you doing Wim Hof or what?
Wim Hof? What is Wim Hof?
Oh my God! What did you get in the cold water for? Just to be in it?
We call it polar bear swim up here.
Ah, okay. All right.
Usually a New Year's Day tradition. So what you do is you cut a hole in the ice because usually the ice is frozen, and you get as many people as you can in bikinis and bathing suits, and then you all jump in, and usually you jump out fairly quickly because it's freezing cold and quite shocking to your system. But it's a good time, and people bring rum to drink after, and sometimes you'll have a fire if there's a fire pit at the beach. It's a really good time.
So what's on your mind, brother?
What's on my mind?
Yeah.
Actually, Three Kings. The story of the Three Kings.
The story of the
from
Three
the
Kings.
East. Do you guys know that story?
I believe so.
Okay.
You're talking about the Bethlehem story, like the Christmas story, the Bible story. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, the Bible story. And I was asking one of my other friends, who were these wise guys? Who were these three guys that saw a star in, would have been is it the eastern sky that they saw this star?
I think it was the northern star. I think we're talking about the Venus.
But they followed the star anyway. The story is they followed the star to Bethlehem. But not much is like. Do you guys know who these guys were?
I don't think anybody knows exactly who they were, unless you can astral travel or time travel back then.
Yeah. Well, I asked a friend who's quite knowledgeable, and she told me, well, it's the Magi. They were the mystics. They were the psychics of that time.
Right.
And they were referred to as the Magi. So it's interesting that maybe history is repeating in some way where people are becoming more spiritual and more connected with the mystical beings that, we were in the past.
Yeah, maybe you got a good point. They were called Three Kings too in the songs, and back then the kings were priest kings, so you had to be a magi to be a king. A long, long time ago, you had to know your stuff. So it's a pretty interesting story.
Yeah,
maybe we are coming back around to it.
Yeah, that's been on my mind. What are you guys doing? What is this? This is Fringe.fm. Is that? Am I saying it right?
Yeah. How did you? So we're talking about the event that we just went to, and we're having people that were at the event call in. That's what we're doing.
Oh, I had no idea. I'm just some nutshack from Canada, and I follow Bootsy and a couple other comedians, and I saw this phone number, so of course I'm going to call it.
Well, I've been running into Canadians all day. They have the Daytona 500 down here. This place is packed full of Canadians, and they're talking crap about Americans.
We love racing. Yeah, we love the Daytona 500. You drive anything around loud enough, and we'll show up for sure.
That's right. Well, thanks for your call, brother. It's good to
well, thanks for having me on, and I'll definitely download the Fringe.fm app from the Google Play Store.
There you go. Right on. Thanks for your call.
Thanks, guys. You have a good night.
You too.
Yeah, bye-bye.
That's one of your super fans, isn't it?
It's he's got a show called Gong Show Tarot. I've seen some stuff that he's done that's actually really funny.
The Gong Show Tarot. That sounds cool.
Yeah, it's a bit wild cardy, but we were with Canadians all weekend. They do have a good sense of humor.
Yeah, they do.
I gotta say. Yeah.
I just was down at the 7-Eleven, and the Canadians were out there. And I think Kurt Busch's race crew just went out of the 7-Eleven. They're like, "Oh, can we get a picture?" And They were like, no, you can't have a picture. And they were like, you Americans suck. And I was like, you got to be brave. You come all the way down here to Daytona Beach to say that. And he goes, hell yeah, we're brave. So I kicked it with him for a little bit. They were fun, for sure. Everybody loves Canadians, man. So you guys call in. It's 1-800-588-0335. The phone line's open. Somebody keeps calling and dropping. But so what was your most memorable moment about going there, Owen? You think the one thing that really blew you away?
Man, it's hard to say. I mean, everything was truly overstimulating. Like from the ride from the airport all the way through was truly, incredible. The breath work was awesome. I'd never did the cold bath before, or at least not as, all the way. I could get in my tub, so I wasn't, and so that was like a real practice of like surrendering. I see the significance of that, or I relate at least that element to it for me, where it's like, all right, I am cold as I can be, and I've got to just relax into this and just allow it to be that, and so I can understand the significance of doing something like that to sort of train your nervous system. And, it's interesting to hear. I was interested to hear, and I'm such a nerd, about the GOTA stuff and about the nervous system and that kind of stuff, because it's just so fascinating to me. So it was really cool to hear, people who are knowledgeable teach. And
yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, man. And to hang out and get to do like a experimental, like kind of, practical, different types of experiences with everybody, like in a group of people who were cool. And
yeah, so for people that don't know what GOTA is, it's Brandon and Cody were there teaching this GOTA stuff about the human body and how we don't move right, and that we should move right according to sacred geometry and the laws of the universe. And they were just showing all of this crazy stuff about how we can live more powerfully in our lives physically if we had a better structure according to the linings of sacred geometry and stuff. And it really does work. It was cool. They were doing that stuff all weekend too, along with Wim Hof as well. It looks like we got a phone call from Phoenix area, 602. Who are we speaking with?
MK, how are you?
What's up, MK?
How's it going?
It's going. First event caller of the night. How you been? Did you get home safe?
It's going really well. The momentum from the weekend has just been real. Like, I'm achieving my goals, like exceeding my goals. And so it feels really good. The energy is great. And I've gotten to link up already with somebody else that was at the event yesterday after the event. So I'm already making these connections lifelong.
Oh, man, that's so cool. That is so cool. Yeah. So what was your experience like with, did you have any, got to thank, by the way, we got to thank Grimerica and Brothers of the Serpent, Brandon, and everybody that asked us to come out there.
Everyone was so awesome. Like, I met just people on another level, and everybody was very, like Owen was saying, like just like balanced humans, like coming to the table, like already doing the work, already practicing this stuff. And then, we learned so many practical things. The ice bath, that was a real lesson, like to have the courage to jump in that thing and then have Brandon coach you through it. It was like, it activated something in me. Like I could really apply that to the everyday bull crap that happens.
Right.
How do I get through that? I'll just think back to that ice bath and I'll be fine.
You're still feeding off the energy from it, huh? That's good.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You gonna try to come back next year?
I am, but I really want to go to Egypt, so that's my first goal.
Right on.
And I think I can pull it off, so I'm getting excited about that already.
Did you have any magical experiences while you were there? Astral travel, anything like that?
So during the ritual, I did go to a place I had only been once before. I've done a lot of transcendental meditation. I've done a lot of spirit journeys.
Uh-huh.
So I played in those worlds, or I've played out of my body. But I did get an experience like when we were in the circle with these angels. It was like a much more three-dimensional experience.
Yeah, you said it was something like you saw something, you were in a dark area or something, but you weren't afraid or something like that?
Yeah, so it kind of felt like if anybody has been to Disneyland, like when you get in those dark rides and it's like echoey and you can't see anything but what's in front of you. And then as you were guiding me through and I was seeing the angels, the angels were coming up really three-dimensional, and I was definitely out of my body. I was definitely somewhere else. I felt like it was the same place that I go when I'm journeying, but to like a different degree maybe.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Did you see anything like that, Owen? Three-dimensional, or did you just chill, or did you get relaxed?
I got really relaxed, and when you were talking about kind of going somewhere, I visualized it, and it was pretty surreal. I really feel like doing that exercise got me a lot more comfortable and maybe a little bit, underneath me, and also just elaborating on the experience and the vibration and kind of what to expect. It just put me at ease. I mean, you put me at ease totally, Joe, just, talking about the 3 levels of magic, and that just set the tone for the whole weekend for me.
Right. Yeah. So I'm glad I was able to do that. It was pretty easy to do, though. I mean, everybody was wore out from Brandon's work, right? There's a lot of energy that he was building all week, and it was amazing. So I thought, it should be easy to relax everybody, right? Should be. But MK, thanks for calling. Like, did you want to talk about any other experiences you had while you were there? Anything else?
It depends on how much time. I mean, I could go on.
You got plenty of time. Nobody's calling yet, so go ahead.
Okay, so it's really cool because, like I said, like I've been doing these meditations and exercises for a couple years, so I felt like I came prepared. And then, so I wrote some things down. That's what I'm going off of. But so you were like. Here, let me see here. You had our attention. Remember, you were the light was going up and down, and at first it was like a pin drop of light, and then it became like a. I wish I could see where.
You're talking about the guided light meditation that turned into.
You were overwhelming our senses. It felt like you were overwhelming our senses, and then trying to pull our attention away from our body.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was doing.
Okay, so I had never done that before, and then it gave me, like, I'm not even just hanging on to, like, any little thing. It was truly intriguing fact. Like, it gave me the reality that I can come out of my body. It gave me perspective that this is how this happens. I didn't pull out of my body that night, but I definitely see how that can happen now.
Oh yeah, you just gotta. So I'm gonna give everybody. Hopefully I'll have it done by this weekend. But everybody that went to the event, I'm gonna redo that whole meditation and send everybody an audio, that whole ritual thing, so you guys can have it, so you can do it by yourself.
Yeah. I just want to thank everyone because you guys are all artists too. Like it was a magical experience because everybody was coming with knowledge and that, but everybody was artists too. You guys, Owen, you're so funny, and Joe, you're funny too. You cracked me.
Owen's hard to follow, man. When you're laughing so hard you can't breathe, or you're crying, and then you got to go up there, it's hard to follow. So.
Yeah, so funny. And then Brandon with his drumming and singing. What a great person to look up to. So thank you guys.
Yeah, thanks for calling. I hope we get to see you again, MK.
Yeah, bless.
All right.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for calling, MK.
For sure.
It's good to hear you again. All right, so it was 1-800-588-0335. If you went to the event, I know some people said everybody says they're going to call in. Then when it comes time, they're like, they all freeze up. So, you know what I mean? I told everybody at the event, they're like, oh, yeah, I'm going to call in. I said, all right, we'll see. Right.
Hey, man, that's cool. I think we can hold it down, whatever. I want to corroborate what that's the word du jour, apparently, in my mind. But what MK said really about like kind of getting, having an experience that to draw from and like really embracing like this kind of like mystical experience that's going on and kind of getting, I guess, training wheels for it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, like I think we all learned, like I definitely learned something from Brandon's Wim Hof stuff. I've never, ever done that. And it's really cool to see how we blend the Wim Hof, the breathing, which he was really charging a lot of energy in the body. I mean, you could feel it, right? As you were doing the breaths and stuff. And then you were kind of like the modern version of this transurfing stuff, which I would say is like modern day mage stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And then I did the ancient stuff. So it was kind of like a trifecta, man. It worked really good.
I think it was a really cool mix because, yeah, I mean, it's a lot of things that kind of, it's a lot of things that are pointing to kind of the same thing, which is, ourself and unconditional love, and really just connecting to our own individual, beings and within, I don't know. It was crazy to be around so many people too who were so open-minded and open-hearted and just smart, but also spiritual. And it was just, I'm still processing everything. It was overstimulating to say the least. Right. But that ancient technology and the closeness, the obvious is unseen, was always something that stuck with me from when I was a kid. And we used to say that when we'd get away with stuff, like when we were being bad or whatever. But right. I mean, the equipment that we have as human beings is really special. And it just gets more and more profound and exciting the more opportunity that I have to kind of play with it and discover it. So it was cool to do the ancient stuff with you, and then I guess the ancient stuff with Brandon too, right? Because that's what he was saying, basically.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I want to talk about that too. I want to take this caller before we go into our first break. Looks like we have a caller from the Portland area, 503 area code. Who are we speaking with?
This is Kate.
What's up, Kate?
Hi. I'm
good.
Kate. I'm super nervous.
It's okay. We're here. We're here with you.
Me too.
Cool.
So how was the experience?
This weekend was amazing.
Yeah?
I loved it. I loved it from start to finish. It was so awesome. Everything that you guys have mentioned already, just like being around so many cool people, and the combination of the three of you guys was just so awesome, because I think kind of like what you were just saying, it like incorporates all these different aspects that when you bring them together, it just makes everything so powerful.
Yeah, for sure.
I love Brandon Powell. He's so awesome.
Another thing too is like, for us, I know I talked to Owen about this. It was like, when you do podcasts and stuff on the internet, you don't really know who you're talking to a lot of the times. But then when you meet the people, like face to face, you have those types of connections. I don't know about you, Owen, but I'm sure Kate realized this, like how nerve-wracking it is, because you're in a room full of people that get it. They're like your peers. So you guys are like us, right? So it's hard. It's like looking in a mirror. It's a hell of a lot more nerve-wracking than hiding behind a microphone. At least it was for me. I don't know about you, Owen.
Yeah, I definitely concur on that. Like, it is a little intimidating. I was thinking about that before. It's not that anybody has any, plus or minus value or whatever, but it's like being in a room of people that are at another standard. It's challenging and exciting. And I mean, I think it was like growth. And
yeah, for sure.
for me, the whole experience was like, let's elevate. And I think that's what happened together. You know, I was talking to a friend of mine who's like into human design, and she was talking about how, you know, there's one big vast hole and everything, and everything's a part of that. But there are certain circuits even within that, right? And like a group and certain like energies coming together, and it clicks and connects. And within that whole system, I think there's some interesting insight to be gained from that. You know, you come together, you know, it's possible now. You know, there's other people like you out there.
Right. Yeah. Kate, did you have any I say extrasensory experiences with Brandon's work or any of our work? Did you have any out of body experiences or anything like that? Oh, you did.
So with the breath work is like, that's the way that I connect the strongest with whatever is on the other side. Like, I don't really have visions, or I haven't left my body. I didn't in the exercise, but I do have like body feelings a lot. And so the breath work brings that on for sure. And even when he was just having us do this movement exercise before breath work one day, and that was incredible. It like brought up so much energy. And when you're doing it in a group, it is so much stronger. Like, I can do stuff at home, and I may be able to tap in pretty strongly on my own at home sometimes, but with a group, it's always incredibly powerful. And so then with your exercise, that kind of thing is way harder for me, because it's so hard for me to focus my mind and to not let my thoughts intrude. But, so I'll just share this because it's weird, and why not? At one point I like felt something touching my legs.
Really?
It was like my inner thighs, and I could feel like movement and kind of caressing. And so that's weird. I don't know, but I love that kind of stuff, because it's just like, wow, I'm feeling like a weird thing in my body. This is unusual. I don't know what it is.
I swear nobody moved. I was on the microphone watching the whole thing.
No
moved.
one was there. I mean, there was no one touching me. Like, I know that for sure. There was no one touching me. It was just a feeling, like, for sure. That's for sure. And so I just love that, because it's like, okay, something's happening. Like, my body's doing something magical is happening. And that makes me happy, because like I said, I don't really tap in to some of these things I hear other people talking about.
Sure, yeah.
Talk about kind of spiritual stuff. So I loved it. It was great.
Well, I hope you get to come back next year. I hope we see you there next year, right? You going on some more trips with the Grimerica crew?
I want to. Yeah, I'm going to go to the Utah event in April.
Oh, that sucker's sold out already. Missed that one, Owen. Man, sold out. Well, Kate, thanks for calling. It was good to talk to you again and share your experience with us, so thank you.
Yeah, no problem. My cat's getting annoyed now. She's knocking the dishes.
I heard that.
You guys have a great night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye, Kate.
Did you hear that? The cat was just swatting the dishes, man. That's funny. But yeah, so that's really cool that she had some kind of experience, though. You know, I mean, look, I told everybody too at the end of it. I said, look, listen, I know with all the drinking and food and all the stuff we did, it's going to be really hard, but I'm going to try. And you know, I think honestly, it all, like I said, I think it all worked together. You know, so. Yeah, shoot, we got to take a break. We'll be right back. If you went to the event, or even if you didn't, you can call in at 1-800-588-0335. If you ever had an experience with the Wim Hof method or a magical experience or astral travel experience, and hopefully some more people from the event will call in. If not, I'll tell you, we got some hella stories to tell, including Owen cussing me out in his sleep. I'll tell you guys all about that.
Yeah, that's right.
All about it.
Was teetering on the edge of radioactive oblivion. A 300,000 degree baptism.
All right, welcome back to Lighting the Void. I'm your host, Joe Roop. We're talking about Contact at the Cabin, the magic event we just had with Grimerica. And We're taking your calls at 1-800-588-0335, especially if you went to the event, to tell us about the experience you had. Plus, we're doing it again next year, February 2023, Contact at the Cabin with Grimerica. And I believe it's going to be at Mount Shasta, February 9th through the 13th. Get your tickets right now. And Owen Hunt's here with us. Owen, thank you for co-hosting this thing, because I'd be dead in the water without you right now, bro.
I doubt that highly, man, but I couldn't be happier to be here. Thanks for having me, Joe.
You're very welcome. And looks like Lacey's called in. What's up, Lacey?
Awesome.
Hey, Joe. Hey, Owen.
How's it going?
What's up?
What up, buddy? It's going good. How are you guys?
Pretty good. Are you still charged from the event? Still energized?
Oh, yeah.
Are you going to, when's the next event you're going to? Tell me you signed up for another one.
Oh, you know I did. I couldn't get enough of it. I'm going to do the Duck Creek.
All right. That's cool.
Yeah.
You're going to end up going to all of the Contact events before it's all over. It really, everybody should go to all these things if you can. Go to as many as you can.
I don't know. I think I should save some room for other people, but
nah.
If I could, I probably would.
Well,
man, fuck it. Sorry.
Well, tell us about your experience that you had. Like, I know you had some experiences. I'd really like it if you share it with the audience too, so they can get charged up and maybe buy a ticket and come hang out with us too.
Well, the first experience I had was with the breath work, Brandon Powell, and just the environment. When you get a group that large and that connected, like, we were all vibing. So the first morning breath work was ecstatic. I had the tingling in my body and the sensations, and just brought me up to a whole nother level. Just everyone breathing, everyone flowing, the drums, the music that Brandon puts out.
Yeah.
It was really cool. So that was like one of the first experiences. And then just after that, just getting to talk to everyone there and connect with everyone, like just different connections.
Right.
And yeah, and then what Owen teaches, and just, you know, our reality is our choice. We make it what we want it to be. You can either make it hard or you can make it fun.
Exactly. Yeah.
100% up to you. So that was fun to just like be in a room where, you know, getting that information and being with people that fully understand that. And then the work with you, Joe, was, I remember afterwards, I was just shocked from what my experience was. I called you back and I was like, okay, hold on. Was this real? What was going on? What were you saying? Like, what just happened? That was so cool.
You had like a blackout experience or something like that, didn't you?
Well, what I think I did was I was able to get so relaxed that like I knew what we were trying to do, and I just went out and I went traveling. So now that like I've had a couple of out-of-body experiences and not really known what they were, but now that I went into this ritual with that knowledge, I could see it and sense it and add them all up. So I think I went right back. So earlier, before we did that ritual, we were in the petrified forest.
Right.
Or petrified woods. And there was, in the Crystal Gardens, there was this spot, and the woods had made a circle. And it was right at the time that the moon was shining and the sun was shining, and they were together. So I went and I took an opportunity, and I went and sat in that circle, and I sunbathed and I moonbathed at the same time.
Oh, nice.
And so, like, my blackout experience, my dream, my astro, I went right back to that spot.
Come to find out, a lot of people did, because you were, I know when I was walked, everybody's like, hey, come over here. You were like, come over here, I got to tell you something. And you and Laura and somebody else was all talking about that, right? That y'all went to the same spot.
There were 5 of us, so we all went to different spots in the same forest.
That's so trippy.
So, like, wherever was, like, so I know for Casey, the spot that she went to was the spot that she was the most excited to be at. the spot that I went to was the spot I was most excited to be at. I believe the same for Laura and for Charlie.
Okay, so just for the listeners, what she's saying is when I told them to imagine a spot and go to it, that's where. So none of you guys knew where you were going, by the way. That was the cool part. Like, nobody knew where the other person was going, but they come to find out a lot of them went to the same spot. So it's pretty cool.
It was really cool.
But
I'm just getting to know everybody. Like, that was just connecting with people on such deep levels was, I mean, the highlight, you know, because we all talk about how we feel sometimes like we're alone or we're misunderstood. And then it's like, oh, dude, there's 40 of you and we can,
right.
you know, we're all kind of similar and we can all vibe the same and we can have these open conversations and know that we're in good company.
Yeah, it was like, that was one of the biggest things for me. I don't know, Owen, I talked to you about that a lot. It's like talking to a bunch of people that totally understand you. I mean, everybody I talked to was different, but they all like understood me on a deep level. It was seriously like everybody was on the same kind of frequency is what it felt like. It was insane, really. I was sad, man. Like, especially talking to Beaver. I don't know if Beaver's going to call in tonight, but like, I connected with a lot of people, but he doesn't have a problem showing his emotions. And I was like, man, I'm about to bust out crying before I leave this thing right here, right now, before we get in this van, because it was such a massive, I guess, connecting experience for me, you know?
Yeah.
I'm surprised I didn't cry more, you know?
Right.
I couldn't agree more. People are like really open-minded, but also so smart and equipped with critical thinking tools, you know, and also open-hearted and, you know, and adept, you know, have been trying and working on their own spirituality and development. So, I mean, what an amazing mix and balance, which I think that, you know, I think that reflects on everybody, right? Like that. And we're all going to have our different perspectives and points and stuff, but how cool is it that, you know, a group like that could wind up experiencing itself?
Yeah, right.
It was a lot, man. Like I couldn't agree more with Lacey. It's, you know, and I just, I'm at a loss for words even still after the event, because I've been home for 3 days now but it doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, I told everybody that too. I said, man, I'm going to have to take a few days to like really process all of this, because it was such a, and you know, and Darren told us about that too at the host house. He said, man, it's going to be hard to leave the last day. And I was like, nah, I can handle tough stuff, you know, whatever. Big tough guy, but the last day was rough. It really was. It was hard to leave. So I want to go back. I have to wait a whole nother year before I come see you guys again. But I want to go back, dang it. I'm glad you showed up, Lacey, though. It was like you and Edward, as far as people I know that listen to Lighting the Void, and Laura, Beaver, and Bryce was there. It was really cool to get to hang out with all of you guys. And then meeting everybody else, it was really fun. I really had no idea people were going to have any type of experiences as far as the astral stuff was concerned. I just wanted to walk people through it. And it was life-changing for me, too. I don't know about you, Owen, but it was for me, too, for sure.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
What do you think, Lacey? You're going to practice on your astral travel more?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't, it was so easy. You made it so easy and enjoyable. The way you let it, like your wording, your tone, your rhythm, it was so enjoyable. I'm excited for you to put out what you're going to put out for us. I think I'm going to try to astral travel a little more. I definitely want to keep working on the breath work and my go-to stances.
Yeah, you were into that stuff too. I remember, you know, like it's pretty serious, right? I was kind of hanging back watching, going, man, I hope they don't look at my stances. You know, I look like a crooked duck, you know, but I get it. Get what he's talking about.
yeah, with that like sacred geometry, like, and how our bodies work. It's like the best thing we can do for ourselves if we're going to be, walking and moving around, is walking and moving around the right way and protecting our joints and our ligaments and, making life enjoyable for when we're older.
Absolutely. Well, is there anything else that you would like to say, though, before we let you off of here? Any other experiences you want to talk about? I'm just glad you called. Be honest with you.
I am so grateful for that experience. I went in not really having a clue what I was doing or what I was getting myself into. And I just, went in and accepted it. And I'm beyond grateful for everyone who showed up, for all of the presenters and all the other guests, for the host. It was pretty incredible. Like, if you guys get a chance to go do Magic on the Mountain, Mount Shasta, it's a whole year away. I highly recommend it. It was absolutely life-changing.
Well, hope to see you again, and thanks for calling in, Lacey. Yeah.
Yeah, love you guys.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
All right, so I guess I promised I'd tell the story when I first showed up, right, about Owen. So when I get off the plane, I had No Way Jose came and picked me up, by the way. You guys know No Way Jose. He's been a fan of the show for a while, and he's like, you hadn't talked to me in 8 months, you bastard. Now you want me to come pick you up from the airport? And I was like, please, So and he's right. I haven't called him in a while, but so I got that speech, and he's still such a good friend. He's like a brother of mine. He drops me off, and where's this place you were at Friday night? What was it called? It was like some hole in the wall dive bar, awesome kind of place. You were doing
it was
stand-up.
cool. Yeah.
So
it was an open mic. I forget the name of the place, but yeah.
So No Way Jose drops me off there, and I got my bags and my coat, and I'm walking in this bar, and everybody's already hammered and they're drinking for the most part, and people are doing stand-up, and I'm pulling my airport bag through there. And I was just like, all right, I'm here. So we hung out there for a little bit, and we ended up dodging some shady folk. I think one guy wanted us to stay the night with him and do substances all night. We said, hell no, right? I mean, this guy was kind of scary looking. So we ended up taking an Uber, and I was so tired, I crashed with Owen. Owen's like, it's all right, dude. You can sleep in this king bed. I'm not going to touch you or anything, right? I was like, that's not exactly what you said. You said, just don't try to whatever. I'm like, that's cool. Come to find out. So we both, I met my match when it comes to snores. Everybody always, and people know that listen to the show, I snore. So I don't have anything to worry about. But I met my match with Owen Hunt. So he goes to sleep before I do, and he's snoring his ass off, right? And I'm watching ice skating, of all things, and I can't turn it for some reason. And I'm like, all right, so I'm going to try to go to sleep and figure this out. And I go to kind of roll over to look towards the wall, and then you kind of threw your elbow and you stop snoring for a minute. Now, you guys, I don't know what Owen dreamt about, but it was scary, right? So he just stopped breathing for a second, and he was like, yeah, well, fuck you, bitch. Fuck you, and just started cursing me. And I was like, oh, my God, I'm scared. So I rolled over in a fetal position and faced the wall. I got about 2 hours of sleep. That was my first night of experience. Then you woke up just happy. Dude, you have an alternate personality when you're sleeping. There's something in there. We got to get these demons out of you, bro.
There's some Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde kind of thing going on. Yeah, I mean, like the dark side of a teddy bear, right?
Yeah, yeah. It was crazy. No, you were serious. And I've never seen, you're the happiest guy I know. The happiest, friendliest. Even it's not fake or anything. When you get around you, it's like good, happy energy. But there was something dark that night you were dealing with, brother. For sure.
We all have our demons, man. What am I going to say,
Yeah.
Maybe that makes me a little bit more mysterious. I hope, right?
Yeah, it definitely made you more mysterious in my eyes. I was already nervous about cuddling with you,
Yeah,
I was super nervous.
And, dude, I mean, I was too. And, it's something that I've always been told that I snore, and then I'm just like, yeah, so do you. But I mean, I'm finally motivated to, try to see what I can do about it. Cause I feel like, throughout, again, back to the ancient technology thing, throughout this whole weekend, it's like things are so close, and like just getting enough oxygen. And that's kind of what the breath work, I think, really can do. I think it re-energizes your cells, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah, man.
Blasts them full of oxygen. So they're just like awake and alive and like ready to roar. And that rejuvenation that you get from just as simple as it is, what we breathe, oxygen. Get enough oxygen in your body, and then your cells will probably work better. You know, it's like these basic things and simple things that are probably small tweaks underneath that could probably make a huge difference too. So, I'm going to work on that. What he was saying was that for snorers, I don't know, I'm going to try this out. I'm not endorsing anything here, but that a lot of times what happens is that the jaw sinks in, like, and somebody was telling me today.
Who, Brandon told you that? Did Brandon tell you?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. That he was like, maybe talk to a dentist or something. Cause he was saying that, the jaw like kind of sinks in and it just closes up your throat hole. So that's why we snore, which is a question I've had. You know, it's like, I breathe fine all the time. I don't walk around like, you know what I mean?
I felt so sorry for Russ, though, didn't you? Like Russ from Brothers of the Serpent. We got to have him on the show, by the way. But I didn't even know he was sleeping in there the first night because we came in so late and he was already asleep, right? And I was like,
I feel bad for anybody who has to listen to somebody else snore, you know? Like, it's not fun. But, I mean, he snored too, but not as loud, I guess.
No way. Yeah, no way, man. He didn't even compare. It didn't even compare.
Well, at least I'm the best at something, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. Like we run a close game. You know what it is if you fall asleep, everybody in that room knew, like, okay, if you fall asleep first, man, I think the third night we all had to get earplugs to finally go to sleep. You know, you had the horn of Gondor going.
Vibrating. The room's vibrating at like 25 dB, you know?
Yep.
We're harmonizing in there, I heard, actually.
Were we? Yeah, he said, what did Russ say? He said one of us sounded like a lawnmower, the other sounded like a leaf blower. That's right. So we said, but I mean, I don't know. I had a good time. Also, Mark from After School Special showed up. That guy was really cool. He does this rad YouTube channel where he does whiteboards and just draws out a lot of the stuff that we talk about. And then Greg Carlwood from the Higher Side Chat showed up, and yeah, man, it was a blast. And I have never been that nervous in my entire life. And you guys know, I talk about it on the show that, like, I don't really partake in cannabis as much as most people do, but I really like, I think I got more high than I've ever been in my entire life right before I had to speak. So yeah, that was pretty nerve wracking. It was one of the hardest things I ever went through in my life. I really thought I was going to die for sure. Like, I'm serious, man. Like, for a moment, I'm like, I made a mistake. This was a mistake. You know, I can't back out. I can't run. I'm in Arizona, and these people got me circled. You know,
that's right. That's right, man. The nostalgic feeling.
Yeah, because the room, like, they're so rowdy, right? And and everybody's having a good time, and then, you know, I partook in some things I shouldn't have, I guess, or I definitely should have, but I didn't know. Like, back in the day when I was in high school and I smoked weed, I had like normal weed, you know, stuff that gets you a little high, and then other stuff that would just kind of make you tired. This stuff is right,
like the brown frown, we used to call it back in the day.
The brown frown. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this stuff was like next generational weed, and they're out there. I don't even remember who all was out there, but they're all there's like 4 of them going around. And then I think someone came off the back porch, Darren or Graham. They're like, all right, it's time to do the speech. And quiet. And they're all staring at you. And you could hear a pin drop, including Carl Wood and everybody else that was there too. And I swear, man, my heart was beating out of my chest. I thought it was gonna lock up for sure. Like, this is gonna be my legacy, man. I'm gonna have a heart attack right here in front of all these people. Rest in peace, Joe Roop. That's what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah, man. When you said that, has anybody ever died from this? Like, yeah. I lost my mind. I was dying laughing.
But I wasn't like trying to make a joke. I really wasn't. I
know that's why it was so funny, is because you were sincere.
Like, have you ever heard that YouTube clip of those 2 policemen that There's a policeman and his wife that smoked weed, and they called in to 911 because they thought they were going to die. You know, yes, I totally understood where they were coming from at that point. Yeah. So yeah, it was fun. I mean, there's more stories we can tell about too, and then we'll get into some of the stuff that we were actually talking about as far as magic, astral travel, and the Wim Hof method. I can tell you guys about a light experience I had that I've never had using any other method that actually happened to me using the breathing techniques. We'll be right back. We're talking about Contact at the Cabin here with Owen Hunt. If you want to call in, please do so. 1-800-588-0335. Stay with us. All right, welcome back to Lighting the Void. We're in the second segment here. We're talking about Contact at the Cabin. It was hosted by Grimerica, Darren Grimes and Graham Dunlop, which was another really cool part of the event. I got to meet, getting to be able to meet those guys was really cool. I've been listening to their podcast forever. Been on their show a few times. I've been on my show a few times. I don't know. It was cool getting to meet you two, Owen. It's really like surreal to get to meet all these people that you talk to on the internet all the time that are your buddies and then get to hang out. So that was a massive part of it for me too. It was a lot of fun, man. Getting to meet you. We got along great and just laughed so much. Like my face hurt and all the cooks that, Gage, and I talked to Keith even a bit today. I'm just laughing just so much. And I had such a great time. It was just so natural, man. It was just felt right. And everybody just came together. And even from the ride from the airport, like with Sarah, like, man, Sarah blew my mind. Like she really knows her stuff. Again, another example of like being around people who are just at an incredible level of what they do. And, yeah, I remember before I did the exercise, I was like, have you done this before? And she was like, no. And I was like, okay, this is definitely the one I want to do then, because you never know. Like, people are nerds and they look into all this stuff. So you don't want to repeat something that somebody else has done a bunch of times, that's kind of lame. Right. But everybody was just incredible. I'm still blown away and so funny. Like, oh my God, like Darren and Graham, like, oh man. And like I said, my face hurt from that. So you're funny as hell too, man. Like you should definitely put together a few minutes of material. I think you would crush. I was just trying to recover from, like, I don't know. Peer pressure got the best of me. I just caved on everything, food, beer, weed, all of it. It was a good time, Man, it was a celebration. That's know what right. I mean? It was. There's a difference between partying and celebrating, and I think nobody got out of hand. Everybody was awesome, and they were just having a great time, and like yourself included. I was the only one who was getting out of hand with the snoring. That was it. Well, funny, no, dude, you weren't the only one. Trust me on that one. But funny enough too, it's like at one point I started realizing that too. I'm like, we are adults, so we all know how to hold our stuff and have a good time and not be stupid. That's what being an adult's about. But it was even way beyond that. It was like the coolest part about being a kid and the coolest part about being an adult and being free all in one event. And mixed in with some really spiritual, life-changing stuff. On top of that, connecting with people that are like... It was spiritual and grounded at the same time, Like, that was what was cool about it, It wasn't I was at this thing called the Conscious Life Expo the weekend before. Oh, yeah. Not surprised that everybody's always telling me that. You should take the Fringe to the Conscious Life Expo. And I'm like, isn't that pretty much like the monster truck rally for conscious experiences? I don't know. Yeah, it kind of was. I had a great time out there. I got to meet my friend, the Muslim mystic, or Ahmad, and my friend who's actually been to a couple of Contact at the Cabin events. Oh, cool. Yeah. Ben, he goes by Star Pilgrim. We all got to hang out, and that was really, really cool. And the expo was cool, but it was an expo. You know what I mean? It was like a bunch of people in a hotel,
for a weekend, and it was kind of, everybody's kind of pitching their stuff and all this stuff. It was kind of woo-woo, kind of, light worker kind of vibe.
Right.
And, whatever. There's nothing wrong with that. But it wasn't.
You're comparing though.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I'm comparing, but it wasn't the same level of just awareness in both worlds. Like I just feel like, it was a very definitely a conscious experience. A lot of really cool people there and great speakers and thought leaders and all kinds of stuff. They were talking about how like all mass is frozen light, and I was blown away, but the difference of just relating to people, I would say, miles different, just in communication and casualness, not with a bunch of filters.
Well, when people talk, when growing up in high school, the best thing to do was hang out with your buddies, right? And then when we get older, some of us get more spiritual and we wake up. And man, there's been so many times, especially through like this COVID event, where I'm like watching this stuff on YouTube thinking, to be able to get together with a bunch of people it's like a whole bunch of best friends that understand you, right? And to be able to talk about all this stuff that we talk about on the shows and everything, it just didn't seem like a real kind of thing to me until you experience it. And I knew like on the third day, I was going to be like, this is going to be one of those things where I'm not going to realize just how heavy this was for me until I get home. That's when you had a good experience.
Absolutely. You get to meet heroes and then they don't disappoint. I mean, those Grimerica guys are just the best, man. How cool are those guys?
Yeah.
I mean, legends.
Darren, it's hard to like make him laugh, but when he starts laughing, you can't help but laugh. I've never seen that guy laugh that hard, but when Powell started talking about all his other philosophies, you know what I'm talking about? And he can coach, this guy can coach anything, just letting you guys know he's good at what he does. Black belt in jiu-jitsu. He's just an intense dude, right? But he had Darren rolling, and when Darren started rolling, I started rolling. Like, that's when I couldn't breathe from crying, You know what I mean? I guess what I'm trying to say is I haven't been around that much with all the drear and bull crap that's been going on. And I haven't been around that much positivity and just good vibes. I can't think of too many times in my life that I have. Not like that. And I'm just being honest with you.
And not in a cheesy way, right? I think that's kind of the difference that I want to maybe point out a little bit is that sort of, word salad, sort of, groupie mentality.
No.
Whereas,
it wasn't like
what
that
we're
at
talking
all.
about is just so authentic, and people are just really being themselves, celebrating that, developing themselves and having fun, really celebrating it, as opposed to, just trying to conform to some standard or be cool or, know more than somebody else or whatever. Everybody had something to offer and really knew their stuff, So it's pretty freaking amazing to be able to relax, be casual, and still talk about higher level things without judgment or, somebody, having an ego about it.
Right.
It was cool.
So when I was doing the breath work, you know how he kind of pushes you through? Like he can tell. So when Brandon Powell's doing this breath work, he's got Russ and they're beating on a drum and they're doing this. I recorded some of it on my phone, but I didn't ask if I could play the audio, so I just didn't play it. But the experience that he adds in with the shamanistic touch to the breath work, and then it's also like he knows. And I only did it once. I didn't really do it as much as everybody else did. But that one time I went through it, it's like he knows what's going to happen in your body. And I tried to explain to him that there's all these barriers in your body when you're doing this breath work that kind of tries to stop you from doing what you're doing. But he has a way of like pushing you through it and letting you realize that your body can take in so much energy. And then once he started talking about focusing on your third eye, that's when stuff got real, dude. When you start seeing that, that light, and I almost passed out, but he said that happens, but I saw exactly what he was talking about. Did you see that? Like the light?
Yeah. That was my experience. And I did the Wim Hof thing on the app last year. A friend of mine was like, dude, it's crazy. You should try it out. If she hadn't recommended it, I would have thought it was silly. But it was great. I had a great experience with that. But with Brandon and then doing it with a group in person, it was a whole other level. And I definitely had that experience, in the breath work. I think that's a great way to really clamp down, give a high five to the divine, like whatever you want to say. Cause you go into this place of just, connectedness, right? And maybe, disconnected a little bit from the senses, and it kind of pushes you inward. Yeah. See, that's my experience. I
thought that the only way to get like any kind of because I told you people talk about chakras and all this stuff. I don't feel nothing, until I really get deep down in these hypnotic states, and I seriously thought that was the only way. That those deep hypnotic visualization states was the only way to have a supernatural experience or an extra sensory experience. That was the first time that I've ever had one outside of that, where you're kind of doing the opposite. And it's cool because he did the vowel sounds and then I did the vowel sounds, and it just makes you think about this ancient, like this stuff really is ancient. It goes way back,
It does. That's the crazy thing. It's like so close to us, and we just need to work with it and explore it and keep developing our intuition. The people that do that just make discoveries like Goda, you know what I'm saying? And
right.
It's just a matter of just exploring.
Something I want to say that you really impressed me with, man, was opening my mind up to the thought process, the creative thought process, where you had everybody writing columns, and I think it was like, what do you want to do? What do you want to have? And what do you want to be? And you made everybody kind of write that and look at it. And as soon as I wrote that stuff down, I was thinking, where's he going with this? But it was really cool I don't know how you did that, but you made me realize, I'm already this thing.
Our mind tells us stories, and it's so good at that, and I wanted to kind of highlight that for folks, because we always feel like we're not enough, or we have to do another thing to get to the thing, to do the thing, to have the thing, so that we could finally be the thing. But you don't have to do any of that shit. You can just be the thing right now. And sometimes we need, I think, to exercise our comfort zones. And when I was talking to Darren, actually, he was like, I thought this stuff was kind of bullshit, right? Like I did too. I thought like manifestation or whatever was bullshit.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, but talking about over the past couple of years, the different changes that he's made and the effects that he's seen, and we were just like, you got to have something to believe in, right? And it doesn't matter what that thing is. You don't have to believe the same thing that I believe, but you have to somehow get comfortable with your connection to the universe, or however you want to define that, as you continue this process. Once you find something that works, like for you, it's hermetic magic. For me, it was transurfing was really the thing. And I had to make myself learn it. I had to suspend disbelief and do this for a little while, but it was the thing that I could be like, all right, I can believe this. I can swallow this pill. It's been since my teenage years in the church that I've had something that I was going to put my faith in. Now I have a conscious awareness. I've explored a lot of different territory. I know what I think, resonates with me, and I know what kind of makes sense. And then you have to let your mind relax into whatever it is that you're practicing. And there's a little bit of a gap there. But once you have that something to believe in, this stuff becomes very real. And now we start to see the ancient technology too. And that's innate, because I think we've all done it too, where we've had a goal and a vision that's sort of just organic within us, and we've done something that we were inspired to do. That's a miracle. That's manifestation right there, in its very most simple, basic form. It's natural. So understanding the process and then just getting comfortable with it, it's unreal what can begin to happen. And then now these guys are doing, these events. They're leading by example, showing people, hey, look, let's take initiative.
Yeah, let's do it.
Sit in the back seat or such and such is happening to us. Bullshit.
No.
We're doing this. And
you want to know something weird? I used to watch this video I put it in the Telegram for the Contact the Cabin group. But Gareth Emery's this DJ that he has a video of him traveling around with his buddies and seeing all this stuff. And I used to watch it and get emotional. Just a couple of less than 2 years ago, I would watch it. And I still watch it sometimes and think, man, that looks amazing. That would be fun. And that's what, you're kind of teaching as well as I was talking about. Is like once you visualize something and you charge it with that emotion, it's kind of like putting a signal out. And I kept telling people when I was there, I was like, man, I'm having deja vu. And I'm trying to think about like, why am I having deja vu? Right? Like, what is this deja vu thing? And I realized when I was walking down the beach today that it was that Gareth Emery video. A lot of that deja vu was because you've watched something on TV or you see something and you want to have that experience and it makes you feel a certain way because you really desire it, and then you realize, oh, I'm doing it. I'm doing it, and you don't understand that you're creating your life and the whole time. Like the divine is giving you this stuff. It's like this is what you asked for, and you're like, oh, I asked for it by visualizing it and feeling it, letting the universe know that this is what makes me happy because we're children of God. You see, it's crazy, right?
Yeah, it is crazy. And it's awesome. I mean, when you started off with just that point, and you went and you did your talk the first night, it just made so much sense to me. It contextualized everything and made me realize, oh my God, like this is, I believe this. This is, it's a different route to the same source, right? Like, we all categorize things different and have our own labels and put things in whatever box. But that's, that was the beauty of it is this ancient technology, this ability that we have as children of God, as creators, co-creators with the universe, that we impact and influence this world. We do.
Absolutely.
And the more of us that, continue to understand that and implement that, it's our charge to shift. That's how that's how we impact the world, in whatever
right.
way.
Well, I've had even during that speech, I was telling you I had a lot of bad experiences because magic was the only thing that worked for my life, right? And the reason why is because I didn't realize that it's like going down in an airplane, They tell you to put your oxygen mask on first before you try to put it on to others. And you don't think that way because it seems selfish. But when you literally love yourself first and you realize that you are a child of God, right? So you start doing that. Not only is it easier to love others, it becomes more magnetic too. And it's totally backwards because a lot of us were brought up, and a lot of the people there I talked to this about, we're all brought up thinking that attention is bad, don't talk when you're, not supposed to talk, all this other stuff, I'm not saying everybody was raised bad. But you remember that part in the speech was I was like, pretend like you got all new parents, right?
Yeah, that murdered, bro.
Yeah,
that murdered.
Because I didn't know what to say, and I was like, just pretend like you got all new parents, okay? And these parents come from the divine, and they want you to be happy, man. They'll just give it to you if you'll work with them. But it's funny that when you do that, and if you're the kind of person that wants to make other people happy, you'll find it much easier if you do it for yourself first. It looks like we got a phone call from 505 area code. Who are we speaking with?
Hello. How's it going, Joe? Owen, it's Beaver. How's everyone doing?
What's up, Beaver? What's going on, brother?
Not much. How are y'all? I have to keep it down. I'm back in an apartment building.
Sure.
Gotta keep it. I gotta keep it quiet. I'd like to scream too.
Yeah, sure. I understand. So, how was your experience at the event?
Oh wow. Profound. I had. For me, it didn't really start until Saturday when we got to the Petrified Forest.
Uh-huh.
And unbeknownst to many people, I've been walking a shamanic path for a while, and I was initiated the day before the event. And so for me, it started at the Petrified Forest. Did some energy work down there, and then for the breathing exercise on Saturday night, I was like, I'm going to go back there and convene with the spirits, and they told me to bugger off and come back in person and do it. They didn't kick me out of the forest or put me back into my body, but they were like, yo, bro, like, you want to do that? You can come back here and do that. Sit right back where you was and do that. But you can go explore. We ain't gonna, no harm, no foul. But you want to do that? You got to come back.
Yeah. Now you told me
I was like, oh,
you initially thought that you were going to get initiated into magic, but found your path on the way to the event, right, or something like that. Yes, yeah, we can. That in a crude way, we can sum it up that way. Totally. So you had an intention, and it didn't work out exactly like you thought it was going to, but it worked out even better, I think, didn't it?
Actually, no, it didn't.
It didn't work
for
out
me.
better. Okay.
That's where it's. No, for me, that's where that's for me. That's where the experience turned, because I can astral project fairly easily. That's why for the exercise, I was like, oh shit, like this is like easy peasy lemon squeezy. Like,
sure.
Yeah. I was like, well, also, I refrain from drinking alcohol and a lot of other things.
Sure.
I do follow a very strict diet.
I got you. Okay.
But yeah, I went roaming around, and some issues I had to deal with arose, and I had to.
I know that you had a pretty emotional experience. You didn't really get to talk about it much, but maybe one day you and I can chat about it or something if you want.
Yeah, I would love to talk to you in private about it, but unfortunately I can't talk about it out loud.
Sure. Was it life changing? How about that? Was there anything good about it, or was it just horrible?
Oh yeah. I mean it was. Oh no, it was totally worth crying myself to sleep Saturday night over.
Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like I hadn't done that in a while, and it was, I was like, it was kind of holding it back, and I'm like, man, I was like, I don't know who this is in the next tent, but after the last couple of days, I don't think they're gonna mind. So I just I just muffled it as best as I could, and just was like,
yeah. Well, you know what, man, your emotions are your power. Don't ever let anybody tell you that they're weak or that they're not good or whatever, man. Especially for you, brother. They're your power.
Oh yeah, totally. I'm fully aware of that. Thank you, brother.
Yeah. All right. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about with the event? I'm glad you called in, man.
Yeah. I really need to thank Sister Laura from Georgia.
Laura?
She had said something to me as we were all departing, and it had to do with the path I'm on, and I was like, whoa, that was kind of heavy. Like, it was good heavy, good heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I departed and drove down to Sedona and did some meandering around in the desert there with a girly dog, and and came across a spiral someone had made with rocks just randomly in the desert.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, this has got to be a sign from spirit. So I did my thing and said my prayer, and as I look up to the sun, there's a hawk flying right over me.
Good omen.
And I'm like, well, I'm definitely definitely on my path if the messenger's there.
Yeah. Well, brother, I'm glad to hear it. I know you dealt with some heavy stuff, but I think it was probably it's definitely a growth thing, and that's always good. You know that, right? That's always a good thing.
Totally. I'm using the analogy of chess. I'm looking at the board going, oh, no shit, huh? Checkmate?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to stand back, look at this board, and do some accounting in the process before I make my final move.
I got you, brother. I got you. Well, look, I appreciate you calling in, and I'll talk to you about that so you can tell me about what you went through, personally. I'd definitely like to hear it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, can't wait. I'll be in touch. Contact at Lighting the Void, right?
Yep, contact at lightingthevoid.com for sure.
Cool. Thanks, guys, and everyone that was there. Wonderful experience. Thank y'all so much. Just love y'all. Love
you too, brother. We love you too. You have a good night.
Have a good evening and day, everyone.
You too, brother. Oh man, he's so cool. Yeah.
He is. When he said his name was Beaver, I was like, of course it is,
he had some kind of experience he is still not yet to reveal, right? Because I remember the day we were leaving, he looked like he had walked through another dimension, but not in a bad way, man. Like he dealt with something heavy, that kind of stuff happens though. I mean, when you're doing spiritual work, that's something that you gotta, I don't know if you remember that guy in the back room that was asking about demons and stuff. And I'm thinking, well, they're just like your exes. They're just going to say, you're just like your father or something. Like demons are just going to try to, that's what they do. They're just going to try to make you feel bad. That's all they're going to do.
Yeah.
But sometimes you do deal with heavy stuff, And let's see, 401 area code. You're on the air. Who are you speaking with?
This is Casey from Rhode Island.
Hey, Casey.
Yeah, Casey.
I was at the event this weekend. I just heard Beaver talk on the phone. Love that guy.
Yeah.
So happy. And first of all, just want to thank Grimerica, Snake Bros, Owen, Joe. You guys were so cool. This is my third CAC I've been to, and this one was especially different just because, the whole time, most CACs you run around, schedule. This one we all actually got a chance to, sit down, hang out, vibe out, and it was so special. And Brandon, oh my God, can't even say enough about that guy. But I just want to say, thank you so much, all of you. So much.
Oh, thank you for going.
I'm still reeling. I don't know who isn't. But the whole thing, I mean, it's always about the people, right? Just having a conversation with everyone, getting to be around so many like-minded people. It's so rare, especially when you come from a corporate environment, which is when I'm living in, and trying to connect with coworkers and stuff. And, I feel like I don't have a purpose. And then I come to one of these things and it's like, shit.
You got one.
Cool.
Huh? You definitely do.
I just can't be thankful enough for, just the way everyone has been and the like-mindedness, I mean, I slept outside for 3 nights and fucking 20 degrees less, and
it got cold that last night, didn't it?
Up a storm, worried about what people are thinking about my farts. We're all in our own.
Right on. It's like when you get to that one, that's when you're connecting with people, right? When you can snore and fart, and you're like, I don't care anymore. I don't care.
Yeah, it's all right. We're all cool.
Yeah. Who cares? That's awesome.
But it's just yeah, it's just so special. And I mean that the night you laid your head on the microphone, being like, "Fuck, I'm stoned." I was there too. I was right with you. Am I gonna die?
Yeah. Yeah. I thought, yeah, I was like, oh my God, this is not what I prepared for at all. You know, like I wasn't prepared for this. It was funny too because
no one ever is.
Greg Carlwood was like, he goes, you're braver than I am, man. And I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, I would have definitely not walked up there and did that speech, Stone. I'm like, are you serious? Like, you set this up?
Why
He goes,
did I do that?
He goes, yeah, it was pure entertainment. But yeah, it was fun. So
hey, even if that's all it is, damn, you
you
did a great job. And
the last night though, it was really cold. Did you make it through that one pretty easily?
yeah, well, I just stayed up till 6 o'clock and slept an hour and took an ice bath. And all right, bye.
Right on.
Wow.
Did you have any conscious experiences with any of the work there, like extrasensory experiences, anything like that?
So I've never been able to like meditate seriously, and I know it's kind of my fault for not like actually trying to physically get in the zone. But when we were doing the ritual that you sent us on, like all the eye colors of the angels that you said, like those are really vivid. Like I've never seen the inside of a pyramid before, but when you were telling us to picture the east, the west, the north, the south, like, and all the colors, and then specifically the north, like with the dark and the forest, like, and then the light coming over us, which is kind of like almost like a cross, I want to say. Like you had it go from left to right and then front to back.
Yeah.
It really felt like it was almost like a watery light, I want to say. Like it felt like I was under the ocean light. And then like there was if I wasn't thinking about it, there was a rocking sensation, but when I noticed the rocking sensation, it would stop, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
yeah, when you stop and you go, am I rocking? Then it doesn't work, right? But then when you hear it, you start rocking. It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, like I could sense myself taking myself out of it, and so I was like, "Shut up, bitch! Like, stop talking. Feel it."
Yeah.
Like, and it's kind of hard for me to do that. So I was happy that I was able to kind of tell myself to shut up and, just live with it, experience it, which is awesome because I'm not able to do that most of the time. So that was very important to me, and I'm excited to take that into the next couple steps and with all Brandon's work and, all the next cacks that I've already dropped deposits on. Like,
awesome.
I'm going.
Well, cool. We'll get to see you again.
Yeah, I love you guys. Love meeting you guys. Like, it's a blast. Every single one of these events. Even if you just go to one, it changes your life. If you keep going to them, that's all I can recommend. It just keeps making your soul get to the next stage where you don't even know it's gonna go. It's so cool.
And you know what's really cool about that is like you don't have to go to a mystery school or any of that stuff. You're just going to a place like with like-minded people that intuitively really understand something, that have something to share with everybody else, and that itself grows your soul,
Oh, for sure. And then like, I know all these people, and I just feel like I can call them up and be like, hey, like I got a question, or hey, I'm crying about something, or hey, like I'm pissed about something. How do I deal with this? Like you're developing resources the whole time you're with these people, and it's so cool. It's so powerful, and I can't recommend it to anybody. If you got $500, throw it on this event. Even if you're $100, just ask. Like, this will change your goddamn life.
Right on. Right on.
Love you guys.
Love you too. Thanks for calling, Casey.
Of course.
All right. You have a good night.
Good night, Casey.
You too.
Thank you. You're
Night.
awesome.
How awesome was that?
Dude, I mean, she's exactly right. It's the law of environment, or that's how Napoleon Hill talked about it in Outwitting the Devil, right? Like when you get around people and you pick up on things about them, and then all of a sudden you start elevating, like she was saying, to places you didn't even think were possible. I mean, that's been my experience with all of this stuff, is that what it's really done is open the door for opportunities that I didn't know that I didn't know were even a possibility for me. Right.
Yeah. Right.
But when you start getting around, other people, right? Like who are doing this stuff, and it's like, it's confirming you too, for your subconscious mind being like, oh, well, it's that just reinforces these ideas because you're seeing other people do it. And there's subtlety in like subconscious behavior that we pick up on in groups. And I think there's something very, very special about that, getting around, people and keying off of them, but also absorbing them. I mean, I think we're like sharing abilities and stuff, really. I mean, awarenesses and understanding. It's like if you're with somebody for a week or two, you'll start to even like do their gestures. Yeah. You don't even realize you're doing it.
You start to pick up on their energy. Yeah. Yeah. I know what you're saying. Yeah. Exactly. That's cool.
So doing it intentionally, like that's just exponentially pushing your own energy out, right? Like with people who are at that same vibration.
Looks like 502 area code. I think it's Kentucky. You're on the air with Owen Hunt and Joe Roop. Who are we speaking with?
Hey, it's Nicky the Dude.
What's up, Nicky? Nicky the Dude.
What's going on, man? Yeah.
What's happening,
How
Captain?
y'all doing? I don't know, man. Just checking in, see how y'all made it.
We made it home.
Getting it home.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Yeah, I'm proud you did, man. I'm proud everybody got home safely. Got a bunch of new friends now. It's a great thing, man. A great weekend.
Yeah. What did you think? What was your favorite part of the weekend? I know the whole thing, but what was your best experience?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there were so many different things. I've been with Brandon, a couple times before, but yeah, this time, training with him a little bit. You were talking about getting into your third eye. That is something that he's helped me with immensely. Around him and his rhythms, especially him and Russ together there. Yeah, it really helps. And so, yeah, I can get in and out of my third eye pretty quickly now. And when I'm cool. There, so yeah, I get that, Enoch sensation of the multitude of hosts just stretching out in front of you, lots of purples and just lots of light, it's pretty cool. Yeah.
You know what I said to him, Owen, on the porch? I said, what is all this stuff, all this talk of autonomy? It sounds to me like just a bunch of people trying to learn how to grow up like a country boy, do what you want, right? And he said, that's exactly what it is. He said, hell, we grew up doing this stuff. Now they're selling it all over the place, So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, man, it was good to meet you. It really was. And I hope I get to see you again.
Too, Joe. Yeah. We found out we had a common upbringing anyway. The country is the country. It don't matter. Borders are just a thing.
That's right.
Somebody else's mind. It seemed like we had a lot of the same experiences. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So,
yeah.
And meeting other people, no matter how different they are, we have stuff in common. A lot of people's half my age there, but they're forward thinking or they're older souls. And I feel like that's the case in a lot of places they're exploring because they are an older soul and they feel things maybe a little more than your normal person, I'm not saying we're not normal, but
no, man, you didn't I didn't think that at all. There was a few people older than me and Owen there. I know Edward was there too, and another guy. But I didn't even think about any of that stuff. I mean, once you get to a certain level, none of that stuff matters anymore. It just don't.
Right. I agree. Can't have a spectrum if you don't have the ends, right?
That's right. That's right. Well, yeah, thanks for calling, man. Thanks. That means a lot that you called in.
Yeah. So Shasta next year.
That's right.
Plans already.
Yeah, man.
I've seen that. Yeah, that sounds like a great place. More land to spread out on, and lots of spooky stuff.
Well, yeah, lots of spooky stuff.
Yeah. All right, man.
All right.
Be good.
Thanks for calling in.
All right. All right, love y'all.
Love you too, brother.
All right, good night, Nikki.
See, this is like making me feel like I want to go back just hearing all their voices, doesn't it,
dude? Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, you don't, like I said, overstimulated is definitely the word. And, you know, when you get in there, like you said before, you know, and you realize, oh my God, I have all the tools within me, like, and you start like breathing and somehow getting high. I mean, God, that's just terrible.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, that's awful, isn't it?
I mean, but no, I mean, yeah, that's what's great about it is that we're going to do it again. And, you know, I want to encourage people to, you know, to connect in very safe ways with people that they have, you know, common interests and ideas with and share values with. Like that's been probably the best thing about the past couple of years is when everything shifted for me, I was like, oh, woe is me. I was real disappointed.
Right.
Because I had a really successful business and I was able to do a lot of traveling and stuff. And, you know, I was just bummed out. But really what it did was it opened up the door for me to connect and work with people like yourself, Joe, and the people that we're talking to on the phone right now. It's shifted, I think, like people closer toward each other. And at least it's been that way for me. And I'm really, really honored about it because I'm living a life now that I didn't even realize was possible. And I think that just compounds and cascades the more people that I'm able to interact with who also see the world in a similar way, right? It's not about an echo chamber either, right? Like people have different ideas, experiences, beliefs and stuff. But when it comes down to it, I guess, you know, open-hearted, open-minded, right? But I get to share that now with people in real life.
Yeah, and who wants to, like, when Beaver called in, right? Like, I was still trying to figure out his experience, and I'm used to talking to people that when I say, oh, it's this way, they're like, yeah, but they're just saying yeah to validate you because they don't want to upset you. Like, these people were like, no, man, this is my truth. Mm-hmm. This is what I think, right? You know, and it's really cool to be around everybody there's no reason to be afraid or worry about your truth or be, like I say, unapologetically you know. And it makes you feel so much more powerful and safer as a person, doesn't it? Like, it just does.
It does. And that part of that, like acknowledging it and going into the experience and being nervous and feeling that, because you don't grow without that. So It's an honor to be able to experience that with everybody and to put yourself, it's like you said to me, you were like, are you ready to be vulnerable? Here we go.
I told you that before we got there, right? I said, what did I? Yeah. I said, dude, you want to connect everybody here, be as vulnerable as possible, right?
That's true.
And it's like that's the one thing that you're afraid to do, man. Is what you should be doing. I think you know.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, it's really hard to do it.
Looks like we have a call from Tucson 520 area code. Who are we speaking with?
Hey, it's Chris in Tucson, Joe. Owen, how are you guys doing?
What's up, man?
Hey,
what's happening?
Hey, man, I had to call and just confirm everything everybody is saying, especially what you said right now. You know, I showed up and being vulnerable was what made things happen.
That's right.
Opening up to people and doing everything you're afraid to do. You know, I had no expectations for the weekend. And to be straight, you know, I went up to see Darren and I went up to see Graham and I was excited to meet those guys. And believe it or not, I got more from you, Owen, and Joe than I could have ever imagined. Owen inspired me to take the stage, man, and do stand-up comedy down here in Tucson. I've been wanting to do that my whole life, and I'm ready to do that, man. I'm ready to roll. And Joe, you confirmed so much magical stuff that I've been into. When you get a chance to hear my story, you know, magic is really what I'm into and manifesting what you believe in. And you know, before this whole event happened, I was manifesting what I wanted for my life. You know, and I was asked down there at the event, what do you want? You know, and I said I wanted happiness. And I'm telling you, everything I wanted, everything I didn't know that I needed, I got that weekend. And I didn't even know it. I didn't know that I was going to get these unique techniques to work my back, or I was going to get all this confirmation from Joe. I didn't even know who you were, Joe, but now I'm like listening to your show. I'm ready to follow you and Owen, and the connections I've made. I met the greatest people I've ever met in my life. I met this family that I didn't know I have, you know, and I've come back to Tucson, and I'm still floating on a cloud from the weekend, and it was just mind blowing.
Dude, I know exactly who you are, man, and I remember meeting you and talking to you a lot, and I could tell you felt the way I did. Like, I didn't want to leave, and it was like, there's so much here. There's so much more here that we could get from each other, but we got a lot from each other there. Like, and when you talk about getting all the stuff that you need, that's exactly what I'm telling you, man, is like, you are, you know this, man, like, you are a child of God. It's constantly trying to do things for you, and sometimes things happen in your life, you're like, oh man, it's life's against me. But if you just tap into that knowing, it's that easy, right? And then stuff just kind of falls in your lap like that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, you gotta put all the doubts aside.
That's right.
And that was like, it's scary. It's scary to take that jump, you know, but you do it, and the universe provides for you. I second everything you were saying up there, Joe. I wanted to be in the back, like, and yell, "Hey, man!" You know, I was feeling everything you were saying, man. Everything. It was live. It was the livest weekend I've had. Like you said, I think probably ever in my life. And, look forward to the next one.
Yeah, man. I hope I get to see you again there next year. We're going to California. You better come, man, please.
Yeah, I'll make it happen.
Right on,
yeah, dude. And crush them, dude. You're gonna murder from stage. Oh my God, I can't wait to hear. Feel free to, please. I want to know all about it.
Yeah, put it in the Telegram or something so we can follow you, or social media and all that stuff.
I will, for sure. Like I said, I've coming home, I've been wanting to talk about what happened this weekend, but I don't really have a crowd here to talk about. So I've just been dropping little crumbs, and just little crumbs have people rolling, and I'm ready to roll. And I can't thank you guys enough for inspiring me this weekend. You know, setting me off on my journey, like, with a little extra nudge. So thank you.
Oh man, thank you. That's awesome to hear, man. That's so awesome.
It goes both ways. It goes both ways, man. Like, it really does. It's a growing energy. It's really awesome.
Yeah. Thanks for calling in, brother. Stay in touch, please.
Yeah, keep doing what you're doing, guys.
All right, we will. You too. Good night.
Hell yeah.
That dude's cool, man. I know, like, I could, that's one of those dudes I was talking to there that I could tell what he was thinking most of the time. He didn't, and I could say what he was gonna, like, you know how you could finish so many sentences and they're like, yeah, you know, that was one of those guys. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love it that, like, he's gonna go out and do comedy. Like, that makes
you
me
inspired
so
him, bro.
happy. Yeah. Well, great. Like, everybody can do it, and if they want, like, not everybody should, but it's such a fun experience. Like, I can't recommend it enough for people. It's kind of interesting too, because it's like when you were talking about with magic, it's like, well, it's not what you think on the surface. Nothing is, you know, and having those experiences and pushing yourself, man, and being enough of an inspiration to show somebody, look, any regular old person can do this. Like, check it out. You know, that's pretty awesome. I'm really honored that he's going to go up and hopefully he doesn't steal all my good taint jokes. Right.
Oh man. That was like there was so much funny stuff that happened in between the speeches. Like Saturday night, Owen, I'm telling Owen, like, I got to go up after you. So try to calm these people down, you know, right? Just get them calm, so I don't have to follow something hard. He's like, no problem. I got you, bro. Wink, wink, you know? And then gets up there and just starts dropping taint jokes on them and acts it out, and they're all rolling. And he's like, now magic time. I'm like, oh, Jesus. You know? Like, how the hell am I? And now the magic show. Like, how am I going to follow that?
How are you going to follow taint? I mean, that's where the secret of the mysteries of the universe are stored, man. It's That's why there's so much fur back there.
I was so close to when I was doing the guiding light thing to when it got to the pelvis to say, imagine the warm light in your taint. You know, I was going to say that, but I didn't want to have to start all over. It was a good time though, man.
I learned a lot. Like I said, ancient technology, man. You clamp down on that thing and magic happens, you know? It's a magical
magical taint
body part.
Yeah.
It's true. But yeah, I mean, I think I hope it went in a fun way to try to loosen everybody up and hopefully get them to just kind of relax and get into the experience. Because like I said, with what you said at the beginning was so comforting and calming, where I was like, okay, I don't have to trip. This isn't what I thought it was, and it is all me, right? It's all the self. It's all God, love. However we want to label that unlabelable thing.
Well, dude, most people are afraid. Like, your biggest fears are mostly in your head. I'm not saying fears aren't valid, but a lot of the times you talk yourself into thinking most of the time your fears are never like you think they're going to be. You know, you paint this narrative in your head of something just completely horrible happening. But if you just knew that you were like a child of God, I mean, you can be center stage anytime you want to be. You're a child of God. You see what I mean? Like, you don't have to be nervous. I mean, even though you do get nervous, it's something I tell myself. It's like, well, I can't let them down. You know, got to do this kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and and I was like really nervous because I'm like, okay, I'm about to go up here and tell some jokes in front of like my crowd. So I'm going to pull out some stuff that I couldn't really say anywhere else. I hope it doesn't bomb, you know, because I hope I don't bomb, you know, like what a nightmare that would be. It's like, it's your home crowd. Here's a layup. And you just fucking excuse my French, but
no, that's fine. We've been dropping F-bombs all night. It's cool.
Okay, cool. Right on. I heard a couple of things, but I didn't know if I heard that one yet. But yeah, no, that would be, and it would be good comedy though, and probably everybody would be cool too. They'd be like, "Oh, good job, bro." You know, they tell you compliment you anyway with that, you know. But no, I had so much fun. I just kind of like taking a weekend kind of and a few jokes and mixing that together and trying to loosen everybody up so that we could just relax into that experience. You know, I was still a little bit edgy because I just came off from being on, but I hope that it was effective, at least in that manner. You know, it was really hopefully, you know, just a way to kind of release some tension and put everybody at ease before we try to get out of our body, which is like kind of a
I was hoping that Alex guy would call in, the really tall guy, because I think Graham told me that he felt himself fall back into his body, but the tall guy that was there, I didn't get to talk to him that much, but he came up to me and he was like, "Hey, I was laying on my back and he said I had to scratch my ear, so I scratched my ear with my left hand." He said, "But my left hand was still on my leg." So like, what did I scratch my ear with? Was that my astral hand? And I was like, yeah. And he was all wigging out. It was really cool, man. You could tell that was his first experience with his subtle bodies, right? Like, so when it first happens to you, it does wig you out a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like you got some Robert Monroe samples in the beginning of the show, and like I love that gateway experience stuff. Like that's helped me a ton. But I remember reading his books and him talking about like him, you know, his hand like going through the floor and like these weird experiences when it first starts happening. He thought he was going crazy. But yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, why wouldn't you be able to scratch your ear with your astral hand? Or, you know, I mean, that could really relieve a lot of uncomfortable tension too. You know, you could pick your nose with your astral finger, you know? Yeah.
Right. Well, Owen, man, like we got to get out of here. I know everybody that wanted to call in didn't get to, but I'll tell you guys, anytime I'm live, just call in, and I still want to hear from you guys. I know Laura was going to call in. A couple other people tried to call in, but they didn't get through. But still call, you know, during the week when we do the show and stuff. And Owen, Man, thank you for coming on with me, to do this. I didn't want to do it by myself, so I appreciate you coming on and helping me with this.
Dude, thank you. I'm stoked. I'm glad to be able to hang out with you anytime, man. I had so much fun, and I really enjoyed getting to know you. I look forward to hanging out with you a lot more.
Yeah, brother. We definitely will. And can you give everybody your website too, again, so they can find your coaching work?
For sure. So you guys can find me everywhere at Bootsy Greenwood on social media, bootsygreenwood.com. And then my new podcast is Blue Collar Mystics, and that's bluecollarmystics.org.
There you go, guys. And make sure you go sign up to the event that we talked about tonight, contactthecabin.com. The one we're talking about is the Magic Edition, but there's a lot of events there you guys can check out. They're all that way. It's a life-changing experience. We'll be back tomorrow night. The Secret Teachings with Ryan Gable's up next. You guys have a good night.